In this video we're going to start looking at a different way of displaying this information. So at the moment we've got a tabled version, and what I want is something called a card version. You've seen it already on the screen, I hope, where you've got a picture of the person and some information on a card. But first, I don't want to lose this because we might want to come back a bit later on and actually enhance this version. Cards are nice, but maybe we could have cards in a table. So I don't want to lose this version. So the thing that I'm going to do, now make sure that you've got all of these, your clear.php, config, index, populate and view. Really, we're just going to be editing the view table, the view file where the table was created, but we'll have a look at that later. The other file that we're really going to be playing with is index. We're going to be adding another field onto here so that we can fill it in for the gender of the person who is storing the information, so we can either have male or female. And because we're making a second version, actually I'm going to create a second database, so we might come in here and change just this. Now this is the beauty of config.php. We're only going to change it once. Remember, it used to exist in all of the files. Now it's only in one place, and if we need to do any database changes, it will go here. So first things first, what I want to do is copy all the files that we had previously. I don't want to lose my tables version, so I'm going to go to my web folder. So you should do the same thing with yours. Go to your web folder and everything's in DB. Now what I really want to do is just copy all of that. So I'm going to click on it and press Ctrl C to copy, and then Ctrl V, and I get a DB copy. So I'm going to change the name of that to cards. So now I've got a second version, and the difference for you will be in the web browser. You will not be going to the DB, you'll be going to cards instead. So you've got a new website. So your folder really has created a new website, and when I press enter, notice that we should now be in the cards folder. The other thing that we need to do is make sure we're editing the correct files here. So I'm going to close all of these files down. If we don't, we might end up editing the wrong one. And I'm going to choose File and Open. Then I'm going to navigate to my new Cards folder. So go to Web, double click on Cards, and then you can click on the first one, hold down the Shift key and click on the last one to highlight them all, and then click Open, and they will all open up in here. So that is sort of making a new website, and at the moment the website that we've got is identical to the last one. However, we're going to change it. We're going to add a gender into here a bit later on. The first thing I want to do though is create a new database. So I'm going to go to HTTP, and you should do the same. Web server 25 and PHP my admin. So we need a new database because we're going to add a field. We don't really need a new database, but it would just be nice if we did, and it will give you some practice playing around with databases. So I've typed in my password, logging onto the database, and if we go into my database, we notice that we've got one table here called comments. So I'm going to create a new table called comments 2, so clicking on new, and I'm going to give it a name, comments 2. Then I'm going to put the fields in. Now with a bit of luck, it will remember the fields from the last time. So ID, name, comment, and the new field called gender. So it's either going to be male or female. The name is going to be varchar, as is comment, and as is gender, because gender is going to be either F or M for male or female. So I'm going to create that as a varchar. I need to specify the lengths, so I'm going to keep the name at 10, the comment at 144, but I'm going to change the gender just to 1. It's either going to be M or F for male or female. The last thing I need to do, let's just make this full screen so that we can see the scroll bar. I'm going to go along, I'm going to change the index to primary and click go, and I'm going to make it auto increment and then save, and I will have another table now called comments 2. There we go, and clicking on it I've got 4 fields instead of 3 with the new field gender added here. So I can close that down now that I've done it, and that's the job done. I've set myself up. So let's briefly go through what I've done. Restore this to normal. In my browser I now go to cards instead of DB. DB and cards are identical because I just copied the information from one to another, so there should be no difference at all. I've added a field to my database called gender so that I can have a new field in my web browser. And the last thing I'm going to be doing, or the next thing I'm going to be doing, is changing these details here. So in these files I'm going to be changing just a few of the codes so that it works with the gender as well. So we'll start looking at that in the next video.